Okay. Okay guys, so I just played 2 games that I did win after losing some games, winning some games, whatever. Oh, I forgot. These 2 are the only ladder games I've played. The rest have been custom for a long time. And 4v4, but I just played 2 1v1 games, and apparently I'm way better than my placement now, even though I really haven't done anything to try and improve that. But I'm just going to quickly go into these replays. I have not uploaded anything in a while, so I thought I'd throw these replays out there as a little sorry. Here's something from my channel, a little first-person view. And yeah. So anyways, this is me playing Terran as an off race. Not doing a very good job, I'll say that right now. Yeah, but I come back majorly. In both games, my opponents just don't macro properly. So, you know, I've got a lot of tutorial videos on macro. Hopefully you've checked them all out. Hopefully you've started looking at macro. And the whole point of these build order videos I've been posting build order videos, and the whole point is that they let you get your macro down without actually having to like specifically know certain things. A build order for very lower level players, it's something that they can use as a tool to really be strong at having that early game opening. I just wanted to mention though, since I'm talking about build orders right now, you know, the better you get, the less sort of build orders will become important. My opponent's scouting late, scouting the wrong way. This is what I sort of did. I did these proxy barracks. I was going to make an early aggression, but then, yeah, I didn't even get gas, so I can't get early marauders. And of course, I'm scouting for that pylon because I thought that he was going to go for warp gate, so I was scouting for a pylon. This is where I really F up. Those Marines, I should have just brought them back to deal with the Zealot. I sick my SCVs on them, and they just get slaughtered. So. If we look at that Zealot, 7 SCV kills, just horrible. And here, definitely slipping on my micro because I decide to macro, or I don't know what I'm doing, but definitely really slip on that. And then I'm like, screw that, get the Marines back into the bunker. That's very important. And of course, should have canceled these earlier, whatever, I don't. So there you can see he's doing a Zealot rush. Really not a very efficient or effective Zealot rush. I do love the way that he's now getting cannons, even though he's going to have me completely contained in my base. As you can see, only 2 on the gas, so a little couple of mistakes, especially macro-wise. He might have been able to run up here and finish the game right now, it's hard to say. I've got an SCV on auto repair, which is doing the barracks, which if he had come up, that would have been bad news, because I want it repairing other things. But I do have that bunker with the Marines in there, and he's afraid of that. So obviously, you know, that's what's keeping him from coming up here. I'm just doing whatever macro I can now. Not building too many SCVs because I don't really need them. Forgetting about my energy though completely, but building another barracks, building a command center so I can expand. I don't expect him to sit outside my base this long, but he does. +1 on him to expand here and getting a gateway. Oh, and a Stargate, pretty fun. But at the same time, I'd like to see him taking 2 expansions right now if he's got me contained. But really, he doesn't have me contained well enough really to say I can guarantee 2 expansions, but it's still pretty good. He could be poking up that ramp, seeing what I'm doing. Still, even though that would end up costing him a Zealot now. As you can see, going to make this an orbital command in a bit, when I remember. Getting both gas going now, and putting some SCVs on, just getting it a little oversaturated, so when I can move out, I'll have those extra units. And of course, I'm getting a starport, because I got factory. Mainly because I don't know why, I was afraid that he might DT me. DT rush, but he didn't. And of course I'm going to push out here because I know that these Zealots aren't fast enough to catch up to any of my units, so I know I can try and pick off 1 or 2 there. And of course just retreating safely. Unloaded this, but I can easily load it back up. That way my army, when I do move out, it is bigger. Now let's see, he's just going, let's see, he's not producing workers. See, his macro's really slipping. He should be producing probes, and these should all be warp gates. I don't know why they aren't. He obviously doesn't like warp gates. Apparently he thinks they're dumb and they're broken, as in too weak. I don't know. But he must have been supply blocked there because he just built 3 pylons in a row, and now he's like by exactly that amount. So right now, if I was him, I would be taking that 3rd, and he should be getting a lot more workers. So his macro really slipping, and that's what's going to allow me to actually catch up in this game and actually win. As you can see, my income is very similar because I have mules is the main reason why. As you can see, as that 2nd mule died, of course, getting some drop chips. I'm just going to drop in his base, is what I decided. I was like, you know what, he's sitting outside my base, and if I didn't realize he'd actually gone away now, but Or yeah, I did, because I had my dropship, and I could see with this unit that he still hasn't taken out. He really should take out from that Zelnaga. I made him get away from my base, and you're going to see me, there we go, lift off and expand, and of course bring out my army to support that expansion. But really, I killed a ton of probes down here, maybe like 5 or 6, and then I killed a lot of more probes up here, and now they're not mining. So really, really big for me. Of course, having my dropship sitting there, that Void Ray could have gone and picked it off because I'm not being good with it. I'm just macroing back at home. I get supply blocked about 30,000 times in this game. And also I decided that I needed siege tanks with siege mode because I thought I was going to be way behind. That drop did quite a lot though, but I thought really that he'd have a 3rd expansion, and he doesn't. So I was really happy to see that. As you can see, my scouting path I used this like scouting path. A bit of miss micro here, letting him know that I'm attacking. Sadly, he knew that I was attacking his, because I didn't control them properly. I dropped them off, but they had vision, they started attacking. He got the early warning. I didn't get a surprise off, but I did drop him in the smoke this time because I expected him to have units waiting ready for that drop, even if it was just a few stalkers. Didn't want that drop ship picked off too easily. As you can see, always salvage those bunkers you don't need. Built 2 more there because I was still afraid. You know, like he should have been way ahead in this game. And now my macros completely slipped. Should have already got my 3rd base. As you can see, I've just been focusing on army and stuff, so now I'm going to get my 3rd base real soon. Maybe not. I'm just going to have my army up there. Thought I saw his army moving around on the minimap. Maybe not. Not sure what's going on. Of course, siege tanks having a nice spread. I always prefer, even against Protoss, I still prefer to spread these siege tanks. Makes it harder for them to put their splash damage, blah, 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 blah. Okay, there's my expansion. 1 Marine here to make sure he doesn't swing around that side. Bad thing for him to engage here. This is not a good engagement for him. My siege tanks are just way too powerful. He really should have not directly engaged 4 siege tanks plus my full army. Oh, he does have an observer here that, even though I have a Raven, manages to get away for quite a while. One thing you'll notice I've done is I've actually stuck up towers, these turrets. There's a couple reasons for that. One is, in case he DTs me, I've got detection up without really needing much. 2 is Void Rays. Even before I knew he was doing Void Rays. As you can see, another fancy drop doing some good damage, but then getting off the dropship. Too bad. Should have left those units on the ground if I'd known they're going to die, but oh well. Yeah, my multitasking is not at a possible, like, perfect right now, but basically I just want to go back now. Sorry to skip back. I know you guys don't really want to rewatch a bunch of times, but I really want you to watch down here during everything that I'm doing, because I'm really trying to work on this whole idea of you're not looking at what you're doing that often. I went way too far back. Let's fast forward ×8. I'm still bad at checking my minimap regularly, because some of the things you really want to do, you want to check your minimap almost constantly, like every 2 or 3 seconds you should always take a peek at it, and then you want to check your supply every like 10 seconds or so, just to make sure you're not getting supply blocked. So now, of course, just focusing on building stuff, you really have to look at that. There's really no other way to do that. Loading up the dropship. So right now I'm on the dropship, sent it away, selected. Okay, right now I'm not doing a good job at what I want to show you, because I don't have my factory hotkey or a few other things. So as you can see, just looking around on the map, seeing where things are, trying to get that siege tech out, but I'm not ready for it yet. And of course, picking up that as soon as it's ready, looking at it. And anyways, microing those. I'm not doing anything right now. There we go. As you saw, I just quickly picked up my barracks, built 8 Marines and Marauder. So, you know, that's something, you know, there we go. Looked at the barracks again, added some more units to the queue. Very important that I'm doing that when I'm away from my base. That's the whole point of having a hotkeyed, especially for these reasons. So I don't even make the eng bay other than to make cell turrets. It's quite amusing. I just realized that. As you can see, salvaging that bunker. And right now I'm really low on unit producing structures, actually, which is a really bad thing. And I've got tons and tons of money in the bank, and it takes me quite a while to actually build more barracks. So bad. We both made a lot of mistakes. That's why neither of us are in Diamond League. But, you know, as you can see, really his macro, he let it slip way too much, as well as letting me get some really good drops. You know, sometimes all it can take is just one dropship. And the great thing is, if you have map control and you know where his army is and you know they're not sitting at his point in his base, just drop. And the important thing you notice me doing during all of my drops, except for that one of course, is I did not lose units during my drops. I would go and deal the damage load up as soon as his units appeared through the fog of war and just run right away. Why not? Take free minerals. Don't let them get minerals in return for your attack. Because the whole point of doing attacks like that, you know. So obviously I have no reason to units up there, but I think I'm just scouting up there because I know I want to expand there soon. I have a feeling that's why I did that. So now we're basically getting back towards this place, you know. As you can see, constantly looking around as much as I can. Loading up another dropship. I see his army coming to my base, so I say that's a perfect time to drop. I have 4 siege tanks, and I have a big army, so I'm not even worried. Look, I'm not even looking at the battle. I'm like, I'm going to win this battle. I'm just going to, I'm putting tech labs on and hotkeying all of my barracks. Duh! Of course, my dropship's sitting down there a little unused, but there we go. Now it's getting used, and even though I just killed his army, and he'd be warping units back at his base, I know he won't have much there to defend, and they won't be in position. So as you can see, getting like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 probe kills and running away. Did I lose anything? Nothing. I don't really need to kill these probes, but the advantage... See, I forgot about the Void Ray. That's why I loaded them up and it died. I didn't realize there was a Void Ray there. I saw his other units coming, loaded them up, and the Void Ray just killed it. So yeah, I was going to get battle cruisers, don't actually end up being able to really use them. As you can see now, focusing on my macro after doing all that little micro. But if we just go back, during that sort of engagement, I don't know how far back this went. Damn it, it always goes so freaking far back. There's no way to go like a minute back. It's either like 10 seconds at a time, or you skip a whole bunch by like going really far back. Sorry about this, guys. So anyways, as you can see... Okay, so if we look, let's see what's going on. One thing you'll notice, clicking there, I was microing away from those cannons. I did not want to get my dropship shot at all by them. His cannon placement isn't the best either. Cannons, putting them in front of your base, sort of like a wall, isn't really something I suggest. I suggest putting them where you want to defend. So, you know, as you, let's see, do I do any macro back home? Right now I should be tapping on my barracks and building some units, but I don't. So that's bad. I should also be, there we go, tapping on my barracks. But the other thing I forget to do that I should be doing is building SCVs. I should be tapping on my command centers and building some SCVs right now. So anyways, let's go back to the everyone cam. As you can see, his units lost just skyrocketing ahead. Yeah, some people will complain that it's Marine Marauder and siege tanks are imbalanced, but at the same time, it's not really the problem. The problem is that he's not macroing. He's letting me do all these drops. Look at this. He doesn't even have a third base. He's only got 1 base mining. Doesn't even have his guys on gas. So, you know, apparently I'm placed way lower than I should be. But for some reason, every now and again, I'll play against people who just own me. So I really don't know what the deal is, why I'm placed so low. As you can see, though, lots of unit producing structures now. I've got these reactors on here, so it's basically like as I have. It's almost like as I have 9 barracks because they produce 2 Marines at once. And of course, get the tech lab, get that 1 Raven. Later in the game, you can easily afford the Raven. Early in the game, it can be a big investment that can really put you behind, but later in the game, you can always guarantee it. I know he has a lot of Void Rays, so I'm going to throw up these turrets now. Because I know he has a lot of Void Rays, I'm going to throw up the turrets. I threw up a Planetary Fortress here. Really, I'm doing a lot of over-precaution stuff that I don't need to do because he is so far behind. But really, in the end, I'm just playing it safe. And that really doesn't hurt when you're ahead. Or even if you're not ahead. Is to play, you know, have a little bit of defensive in your base. If you notice, I put some random missile turrets because they can make a huge difference having those missile turrets just in random places so you can't pick up your buildings as fast. Of course, I'm going to do another drop. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to push out. Because I have control of the Selnaga Tower, I don't need to do a slow push. I know I can walk right up to here and then siege my tanks. Because if I army come through right here, I still have enough time to press E right now and they would all siege. Of course, spreading them out, not too close to the edge of the fog of war, bleh. And now putting my units, clumping them around them so that they can work with each other, and then looking at the high ground and slowly move these forward. And one thing I want you to look at is what I do is I use the Shift Q command. So I unsiege them using the D on my keyboard hotkey, and then I press right click with Shift and then right click E, so that way they'll move there and automatically siege. A little bit of miss micro here, letting that, not engaging this army because I was afraid it might be bigger. I don't know. But I let those 2 siege tanks die. Not the best move in the world, but not the worst either. Let's see, where did that dropship go? Have I loaded it up and used it yet? Apparently not. There we go, there, it's loaded. Full of Marines, no Marauders this time. I don't plan on killing buildings, so I don't really need the Marauders. I let him focus down my Raven, not the best thing, but I've still got the dropship for high ground, so, you know, and I've got a lot of comm sats too. I've got lots of energy saved up because I'm really not using my mules now. I don't really need to. I've got so much money in the bank. You might as well save that energy for the comm sat. So I'm going to actually throw my dropship. I do like a shift Q sort of idea to move it around to see if he has any bases, and then I'm not looking at my mini map, so I don't notice this until quite a bit later. Thankfully, he doesn't notice that I'm sending a dropship here and warping some units to defend it, but that's also because he's pretty much broke because his macro just slips so hardcore. As you can see, not really doing much here because what am I focusing on right now? Let's see. I'm focusing on looking at getting my battlecruiser tech. Oh, and I'm scrolling. Oops, my bad. And I'm supply block. So I'm really just, right now I'm just building stuff, and there we go. Now I'm looking and I'm like, oh, I can just easily take care of this expansion because he probably won't have anything defending it, especially when he suicides 5 zealots into my army. Yeah, that's not a shiny moment. Moving my tanks closer, this is a risk of the way that I move them, but I'm counting on him not having units there, but I'm moving them closer. Somehow this didn't siege. I thought I had shift sort of queued it to siege, but apparently I didn't. So there you go. That was one game that I just played, and I'll be casting and uploading the next game that I played as well.